only 2 deep fish. I think this map used to have more deep fish. Well, it's marlin. Actually, 525 food for each marlin. Didn't know that it contains that much. I think that's a change or something. Always thought it's like 300 something. 350 or so. So, the map is El Dorado. The special thing about this map is we have a lot of gold in the center, even some extra stone as well. So at some versions we don't have the stone as far as I'm aware, and at some versions we don't have the water too. So this makes all of it a little bit more tricky, because towers can often decide the map already, or a castle in the center. We don't have a whole lot of resources at the outside. That's barely enough for a castle, and like one more extra town center, or you make a tower maybe, then you're even down more resources than usually. You have to invest some stone in fuel age for something, maybe an outpost, whatever. Yeah, so let's see how it looks map wise. Nico's map not looking too bad from how wallable this map is, but it's quite hard to scout as well, because if he wants to wall this really efficiently, also for the late game, then you need to wall like here, there, and all the way down. But of course, he has to scout so much, and he's not using his turkeys as well for that. He just wants to play it super safe, it seems. But of course, you can't see that Stark's score is not that dangerous. Well, that still might mean Stark is laming actually, because nah, not really, because Nicov is not even using his turkeys at all. So yeah, he should know that he can use a couple of those. Let's see if he scouted how to wall this. Well, he can wall this, so it's quite a simple thing for him. He doesn't have to over scout. Relatively standard build order again. We got 5 on wood. Dock probably going to come down. Yep. Right now by this villager. While Stark is building a beautiful dock in the center, he was a little bit more lucky with his spawning position as well, that he could build it there. And wall-wise, also looking quite simple for Stark. So what are the openings going to be? He's actually going for a 6 on wood, which I personally like. Of course he's delaying his fuel time with it, but since there's quite a distance between both players' docks and generally on water, if you're up like one villager later and you have one extra fishing ship, then you'll get the fire galley numbers out as soon as your opponent is arriving with his fire galleys. So it's defendable in that case, but of course, if you're defending, you might get cornered quite fast as well. Your fishing ships are in jeopardy. So ever since fire galleys and demo rafts got introduced, like it's the positional advantage is not that great if you have the defender's advantage as it is in a pure galley war. Because if you're getting cornered with your fires and the demo is coming in, you have nowhere to run. At least with galleys you can run away fast. So Stark's starting to wall up with Loom, playing it extra safe. Nicov, well, never mind, it's Chinese, so stupid me. Of course they have Loom. They went for Loom right away as the first move of the game, probably. And Nicov on the way to fuel age. Well, Stark isn't even close resource-wise to go up. I'm not sure what he's thinking by having that many villagers on wood at the moment. Sure, that makes sense if you want to produce fishing ships from 2 docks, maybe 1 more villager then. But from 1 dock, nah, I completely disagree with that. He's walling up completely, so is that a fast castle, or what does he attempt to do here? He's definitely going to give up water like this. Producing a 5th fishing ship, 6th, I heavily disagree with this decision. F9 on wood there for Nicov, 6 there. So that's quite a high number for early fuel age as well by him. But of course with Chinese you need extra villagers and on wood. You don't have stragglers as well, so it makes sense, right?
Wait.
And this is just a ridiculous uptime for what you're used to with Chinese. Because, well, if you don't nail getting the villager production and getting your villagers at the earliest possible time on cheap, and then not only are your villagers going to be later, also your food income is going to be delayed. So that can easily result into some 10-minute uptimes, 10, 30. Sometimes you see even above the 1600 1v1 rating on Definitive Edition. Something like 11-minute uptime for Chinese. So he's going for the barracks there. What's the opening for Nicov? Nicov is producing fires from 2 docks. Went for a really aggressive one. Oh, look at that. He sneaked the villager to be able to take out, he's focusing on deer, to be able to take out the fish faster as well. He probably was afraid it's a fast castle, and I love this aggressive dock move. Oh my god, like that's something that would probably not have crossed my mind either. Just those small decisions you see during those top expert tournaments are just remarkable. Well, Stark taking out the scout, Nicov taking out Stark scout, not being too much of an issue if it's just mindlessly patrolling around there into a villager. And now Stark has no way of defending his fishing ships at the moment. He even tried to redock to play something like fire ships, and it would have worked if Nicov would have just played from home, but the reinforcement distance for those fires was just so incredibly short. But when did he even build those? I'm not sure. That would be really interesting to know as well. Like, if you're interested in that, then you can just go back in time slightly in the VOD, of course. So we got Stark playing knights, one stable knight. One stable knights having 6 on gold. Let's see how well this is going to work out. And look at Nicov. Incredible uptime to castle age. He clicked at before 16 minutes. So that's going to be 18 minutes something as his castle age time. Well, Eldorado, maybe you have so much extra food that it works out with those sheep too. Not sure if he idled his town center. Probably not. No, he has a huge lead in eco units. Look at that. That's 16 more eco units. Since Stark lost all his fishing ships. But also well, you have to take into account the time he advanced to castle age as well. So naturally he's behind a little bit on top of that. But still, it's just looking so damn good for Nicov again to get the 2-0 here. The knight's trying to find an angle for themselves to do damage. Not sure if the market actually saw that knight. Oh no, that villager is going to go down, and there are not a lot of HP. No, he's actually quick-walling his villager. He could have taken down that palisade wall, but of course no one is going to be able to click like 5 pieces of palisade in like 2-3 seconds, which you have. We're looking at that knight trying to find an angle where to engage there. Not sure what happened with that dock. Yeah, Nicov must have deleted it because he has nothing even close to it to rebuild the dock there. Also fishing more and more close to Stark space. That tower, not sure about it. So he went to stone at home as well to take more and more. Yeah, that's actually a really smart decision to a town center there. Gotta love this move. It's an even better move by Nicov. Instead of like sometimes you know people towering a forward, since he's in the castle age already, why not just TC the forward? For example, someone is going skirms and spears against you. Very often your opponent, or you go spears and skirms against someone on the ranked ladder. Very often on higher levels you see the opponents just to drop a tower onto your forward buildings with a lot of villagers, but TC makes all of that even more hilarious, but it's a smart move. Gotta love that. Start going for his own town center in the center now as well. And well, Nicov just with a way better economy, way more income of all resources. Not too much food economy, but I don't expect Stark to have a much better food economy. Look at that, only 7 villagers on food at the moment. Not sure how he even manages to sustain night production right now. Maybe he banked up a considerable amount, and actually he's calling it. He doesn't see chances for himself to take the center back. He doesn't have anything to do so. Sure, he has that town center, but Nicov made it to the siege workshop. Not sure if that's in vision of Stark. It has to be because it's close to the relic. Yeah, he knows he's going to be pushed away from the middle. That town center is going to be taken down by Ram, probably by Mangonel. But he could also just make a ram and then underneath the tower range ram down the TC if Stark is trying to better the ram down with villagers. He just has villagers in his tower, Nicov has, and takes out the villagers. Yeah, there's nothing he can do. He just didn't have the economy either to transition into anything to deal with the pikes as well. So really well played by Nicov as well. Flawless, almost completely flawless performance in this game number 2, right? Yeah, that's game number 2. Yeah, 3 docks even there right now. Not sure why. Like, what do you need? More efficient fishing ships, I guess. I don't think it's worth it, but sure, why not? Maybe he expected Stark to have a villager sneaked outside and go for a lot of fires, so that Nicov can relatively fast, can react relatively quickly and keep his fishing ships alive. In that case, well, he knew he did so much damage to the fish economy and managed to pull ahead quite a lot as well. By having added his own fishing ships, that he can easily afford to do such an quote-unquote overreaction. Alright, we don't have the score updated at all. So it's 2-0 for Nicov.